This is the KRMG Afternoon News with Skylar Cooper.
Well, let's see what's going on in Broken Arrow. They've got the Rose District Farmers Market happening now until 8 o'clock. It's the first Tuesday in the park there at Central Park on Main Street, so some things happening. Oh, and the coolest thing happening in BA is the city manager, Michael Spurgeon, is live on the KRMG Afternoon News. Good afternoon, Michael.
That's right, Skylar. I've been looking forward to talking to you. I'm a little, my schedule is off this week because normally we have council meetings on Tuesday nights, but it was for June because of music in the park. It's on Monday, so my schedule is a little off right now, but it's great to talk to you.
It is. And yeah, 1 year ago today, we were sweating our tails off in the park because we did the show live out there. I think it's cool to do it this way too.
Absolutely. It was such a great time for everybody to come out for the next a few Tuesdays to hear some great music and have some great fellowship. And so hope everybody will be able to make it out sometime during the month.
Well, we have a couple of things to catch up on. A few weeks ago, you and I talked about the resignation of a city councilor who really had just joined the council, was just elected. He stepped down. And at the time, you said there were a couple of options the council could consider on filling that seat. Now that a few weeks have passed, have they come closer to deciding on how that might be filled? What are the next steps?
Well, as we talked about just a few weeks ago, is the Oklahoma State statutes outlines the process. And the first you shall consider the appointment. If that's not possible, then they contemplate the next step, and that would be a special election. Well, the council last night, they actually discussed a process they'd like to utilize, Skylar, and it was decided by the majority of the council members that they would post a notice that they're accepting letters of interest of anyone within Ward 4, that they could ask them to turn in those letters of interest by Thursday, June 15th, and then at a special meeting on June 19th, those that are interested will be given the opportunity to address the council and then ask some questions.
I'm curious, you may not know off the top of your head, or maybe you can't say, but is there perhaps a former councilor pretty familiar with the district who would want to step in?
I have no idea whether any former council members from Ward 4 would be interested. I do know there are two individuals that have expressed interest, and what's really good about this situation, in one sense, is that it's generated a lot of a buzz and discussion about the city council. I mean, there's so many great things happening right now. I'm not surprised that there's a handful of people that are interested in wanting to be a part of what's going on. So, hopefully we'll get letters of interest from, instead of applications, I call it letters of interest, by the 15th, and give council members the weekend to look at those letters of interest, and then those that show up, I'm sure they'll be able to give presentations, and then the council members will ask questions. And I will say is that it will be on the June 19th regular meeting, which will be held right after that. The council members, it'll be on there for them to possibly appoint somebody and to include a swearing in if that person is ready to be sworn in, or if not, it would be at another meeting. But the council has to take action before July 11th, which was within the 60 days of since the resignation of Councilmember Franco last month.
Well, let's lean into this a little bit. We had a lot of people listening right now in Broken Arrow. Maybe if they live in Ward 4, then they might be interested. Who is the council looking for? What are the qualifications?
Well, the qualifications, first and foremost, you have to have lived in the ward for at least 6 months. You have to be at least 18 years old and be a registered voter. Those are the prerequisites, as I would call them, for holding position. I mean, the intangibles. Number one, I believe you need a great affection and love for our community. There's so many things that are happening. It is a volunteer position, but it's not just 2 council meetings per month, because there's so much going on in our community. So the city clerk, Curtis Green, or I would be glad to visit with any resident within the ward to talk to them about the time commitments, the obligations that are associated with the position if someone's interested. And so I'd be willing to talk to anybody about their interest. And we'd hope that they would, if they are interested, they'd submit their letter to the city clerk by the 15th so we can move forward this process if that's what the majority of the council chooses on the 19th.
We're talking with Michael Spurgeon, the Broken Arrow City Manager, for the BA Breakdown this Tuesday afternoon. As you know, Michael, we like to put it out there for the listeners to ask a question. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we got a text question, as we encourage text messages too, as well as the open mics. This person says that they live between County Line, between College and 81st, rather, on County Line. They say there's a smell out there that they've always been dealing with. And do you know anything about that and what might be done about it?
Absolutely. There is the sewer system out there is old and needs to be replaced. And right now, between Kenosha, 71st, and Houston, there are some manholes that are in the process of being replaced as a part of that road widening project. And then there is additional sewer line that needs to be replaced going further to the south, which we're currently putting together actually a project to go out to bid. So, I mean, it's time to rehabilitate those sewer lines, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that we keep the lines clear and cleaned in order to reduce that smell. But we're starting that process by replacing some existing manholes in that mile stretch.
Cool. I think our listener would be happy to hear that answer. Thank you. And lastly, as we just about ran out of time, I just wanted to toss this out there. Nothing specific, really, but I see on the city's Facebook page, and as I drive around the city, because I too live in BA, there's a ton of road work. A lot of it is getting close. Some of it's just starting. But I know you like to say that orange cones are beautiful because that means progress. And I think there's quite a bit of progress apparently underway.
There is. We've been blessed since 2011, 14, and 18. The voters of our community have approved a lot of money for public improvements, primarily for road improvements. And we have approximately 500 lane miles of road we're responsible for, and that doesn't include actual road widenings. And we do have a lot of projects, mainly in the north part of our community, but also to the west. And that it is progress. I mean, obviously, in several places, our roads are under capacity, and it's our responsibility, especially when the voters approve it, to make those improvements. And the process just takes some time because you have to design the plans, acquire the right of way, and then actually do the construction. But I couldn't be happier with the work we're doing, and I appreciate the voter support and understanding, because when we start a project, it is just a matter of time until that project's completed, and then we can all go back to normal. And it's not going to stop. We have designs for all over the community coming up in the next few years, and then we'll be ready for 2027 for our next bond package to continue the progress.
Michael Spurgeon, Broken Arrow City Manager. He's here every Tuesday afternoon on KRMG. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, Skylar.